I want to talk to you about tin grills. So before I start, shout out to my buddy Chris Albrick. Got your shirt on, buddy. It was appropriate for this video. Anyways, about 30 years ago or so, you could pick up B bodies all day long for nothing. I mean, they were plentiful, they were everywhere, and they were cheap. My first Mopar was a 68 Dodge Charger. I paid $100 for it. And I bought a lot of Chargers back then for less than 600 bucks. They weren't great condition cars. You know, if you wanted a running driving car, you were going to pay 1,500 to 2,500 bucks or so. You know, and a restored one was probably around 10 grand. But you know, usually I pulled it out of somebody's field or yard, and it usually only took a carb clean, points replacement, battery, and going through the brakes, and then you were running and driving. You know, beater, but a Charger. Anyway, you fast forward to about 15 years ago, and those cars just started skyrocketing in price. They're not plentiful anymore, and you're going to drop some coin to buy one. And of course, if you fast forward another 15 years to today's time, you obviously know what those prices are like now. They're freaking off the scale. Anyways, about 10 years ago or so, maybe a little more than that, some friends of mine and I did a club car, and it was a Duster. It was a 76 Duster, 75 or 6. Anyway, back then, A bodies were cheap, plentiful, all over the place. They've dried up, and you know what those prices are going for now. So my prediction is that these things are next. On the Mopar camp, these trucks are still cheap when you think about it. You know, this one I paid 1,500 bucks for. It had some engine issues, which I resolved for next to nothing. I have a parts truck back there that I paid, I think it was 300 or 400 bucks for it, and you can still get them, you know, for around $1,500 or so. You know, obviously, there's some nicer ones for more money and some worse ones for less money, and it's all relative. But as far as I'm concerned, I think they're still cheap. And I think 10 to 15 years from now, these things are going to be dried up. You know, right now they're still pretty plentiful. You can still find them. Parts for them are cheap, but I think they're going to be dried up, and these will probably be the next thing to take off in value. The only caveat is I think the whole U.S. economy, world economy, is going through some bad shit right now, and it's probably going to be really bad for a long time. A lot of the guys I listen to online, they're talking like Great Depression stuff. Now, I'm not going to make any predictions, but they've got legitimate reasons to think that that's what's going to happen. So that might slow things down as far as these things taking off in value. But if the economy, say, turns around and gets back up there where it was maybe 8 to 10 years from now, that's kind of perfect timing for them drying up and taking off in value. So we'll see if I'm right. All right, that's it.